Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this episode. My name is Dallin Hawes. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm a financial planner serving you folks as federal employees and helping you guys retire comfortable and confident. And I have seen so many federal employees go through this transition of working, not working, right? To having something to do every day to being retired. Go through this transition. And here are 3 tips that we're going to talk about today that I have seen are key to incredibly successful retirement. And if these things aren't here, people can often still retire, but the quality of their retirement and their happiness and fulfillment are generally significantly lower. Significantly by a long shot. Okay, without further ado, let's dive right in. Tip number 1, principle number 1, and this actually comes from one of my favorite books of all time. It is one of the most sold books of all time. It is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And this is the principle, is that we have 2 circles in our life. 2 circles, okay? We have our circle of influence and then our circle of concern. And basically this is how it works. You have your one big circle, which is your circle of concern. And within that circle, there is everything in this world that concerns you, that might affect you, that you might ever think about. It is this massive circle with so many things in it. And within that circle, embedded within that circle, is your circle of influence. And this circle is much smaller, much smaller. And this circle is all the things that you personally have some say over, that you can influence, okay? Now here's the catch. We choose every single second of the day, every single day, where to spend our time and attention. Whether we're going to spend it worrying about our circle of concern, all the other things, whether it's politics, whether it's about the economy, whether it's about tax rates, whether it's about world events, whatever it is, there are so many things that we could easily say, hey, this concerns me. I'm going to worry about it. I'm going to think about it. But here's the principle. If you spend your time in your circle of concern and not within your circle of influence, over time, what you actually can influence shrinks. Over time, the things that you actually have power to do shrinks. Okay? You have less influence in the world. But when you take the time to only focus on what you can actually control, what's in that circle of influence, over time that expands, where you can influence and impact and do way more in your life, in your family's life, in the world, in your community. The principle here is focus on what you actually can control. Can we affect the stock market? No, we really can't. Okay, unless you're a $1 trillion hedge fund, you really can't affect the stock market in a meaningful way. But what you can do is set up your investments and have a plan so that no matter what the market does, you are going to be okay. That is something you can do. You can set up your finances. You can be prepared for retirement in a way so that you're going to be okay, that you know what's going on. That is focusing on what you can control and not worrying about all the crazy scenarios of, oh, what about this? What about that? No. Focus on what you can control, and your life, even now, regardless of where you're at, is going to be so much better. I could talk about this for the whole time, but I better stop, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, and this is one of the most powerful principles that I've seen in practice in my client's life and certainly in my own life as well. And this is it, in a few words. Do it now. Now. And this, I'm talking about so many things here. I'm talking about being happy. Now's the time. I'm talking about doing all those things you say you want to do, those grand adventures, learning the language, whatever it is, now. You are never going to be younger. You're never going to be magically healthier unless you make it so, right? You are never going to have this opportunity to spend this time, at this age, with your kids, with your spouse, in the way you can now. Never again. Now is all we have. And if we keep saying those insidious and sneaky things of, oh yeah, I'm going to work on this one day. It's on my goals, but I'm just not going to do it now. I don't have time. I'm just not prioritizing it. Whatever it is, right? We only have now, and we don't know how much time we have left. That is the principle. We don't know how much time we have left, and especially if you are close to retirement or in retirement, especially as we all get older, we have less time. That's just the facts. And especially in the early parts of retirement, that is when you're the healthiest. That is when you can do a lot of the things you want to do. Do it now. Plan it now. Execute it now. Do it now. Live now. Be happy right now. Right? Not tomorrow. No. Today. That's number 2. Regardless of what it is, do it now. Do it now. Okay. Principle number 3. And this is, there are no rules. There are no rules. Now, let me tell you a quick story. So there's been tons of studies on happiness over a lifetime. Happiness over a lifetime. And they have found happiness generally shows up in a smile, okay? A nice curve, meaning when someone is young, right? They're 10, 11, 12, they tend to be the happiest, right? They're able to do things, but they really haven't gotten old enough where they get into the thick of puberty and teenage years and high school. They haven't got there yet. And they tend to be very, very happy. And then what happens is happiness tends to decline. And then eventually we hit a point, maybe in our 50s, 60s, where we realize, like, look, life's running out. If I'm going to do stuff I want, I got to do it now, right? And maybe some of the people that were judging us, that we were worried about what they would think, maybe some of them are dying or dead, right? Maybe they're getting sick as people age, right? And we realize, I got to live how I want now, right? There are no rules. And then over time, right, to finish my point on that study, over time, we tend to get happier as we get older. Because we realize we don't have to keep that negative person in our life just because they were a friend once. We don't have to do anything. There are no rules, especially when it comes to being a federal employee. Sometimes we get bogged down with all the retirement rules. But guess what? You've got to understand the rules, of course, that come with retirement, but you also have to understand it doesn't mean you have to live like everyone else. It doesn't mean you do or should do all the same things that your coworkers are doing, or that your parents did, or that your siblings are doing. There are no rules to life. You can do it however you'd like. And when I see people truly understand this is when they light up. When they finally have the courage to do the things that they want to do. And to not worry about what that person might think or this person might think, because they want to do it. Those are my 3 tips for today, okay? Number 1, focus on what you can actually influence and ignore everything else. Number 2, do it now. We don't know if we have tomorrow. Legitimately, we don't know. We don't know. And so if you want to do anything, you got to start doing stuff today. You don't have to do everything today. You just got to start doing something. You got to start doing it today. Okay? And if you're planning for retirement, that includes planning for retirement. You can start doing that today. Today. Last one, there are no rules. Live life on your terms, and over time, when you exude the confidence that comes from living on your own terms, people will respect you, right? As a byproduct. But if you're worried about what other people think, they won't. So those are my thoughts for today. I hope that's helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day. Again, if you're a federal employee, there are tons of incredible resources for you in the description below. Tons of free things, some paid things. Go check it out. There's tons of great things, and we'll go from there. Have a great rest of your day. See you next time. Bye.